What's shaking, YouTubeites? Welcome to Lords of the Longbox presents the Cover Price Comic Book Shakers of the Week. I got my man JB with me and my man Jack. Oh, that's not Jack. That's Justin from the Comic Con podcast. I had no idea he was going to be on here, and I was wearing the shirt anyway. But shout out to everybody in the live chat. I'm glad you guys are hanging in here with us. Yeah, even though we're going up against the NFL and Cowboys against Tom Brady, so sorry, but we'll do the best we can, being that it's the start of the NFL season. But while you guys are congregating, you know what time it is? Just say the word.
Tailgating time.
What's up, everybody? Just say the word. That's one of my favorite intros. So that's basically all the dopest DJs. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. I try to highlight you guys all, as you guys said. Shout out to Aegis Comics of Alaska, who did a deep fake of me that just looks awful, by the way. I was like, remember last week I was saying Lou from Aegis Comics has the perfect face for the face. Mine does. I look awful in every one of them that I've tried. So shout out to everybody in the live chat. This show is the Comic Book Shakers of the Week. And of course, that show is sponsored by our friends over at CovrPrice.com. Go to CovrPrice.com, sign up for a 2-week free trial or $6.99 a month. Basically the price of a bacon single. Which I went to, never mind. I don't even want to get my spiel about how expensive Burger King was. I thought it was ridiculous. I was like, give me the buy one, get one for $1 and a medium iced tea. And they were like, that's $12. I thought it was buy one, get one for $1. Anyway, damn. So it's also by our friends over at KRS Comics. Go to KRScomics.com. Use discount code of LOTLB to get 15% off the entire KRS Comics store, including the pool list, as well as the exclusives. And Friday, boys and girls, this one's gorgeous. Natalie Sanders doing a magazine variant. This is Chris told me this is the last magazine variant of the year. And there you go. So Natalie Sanders doing a Wonder Woman 80th anniversary. So there's going to be a ton of these, and it's 100 issues. So it's going to be a big issue, literally big issue. It's 100 pages thick. gorgeous Natalie Sanders art. We dropped the news last week, and Natalie Sanders is also going to be doing a Mikey Sutton Karras Comics exclusive for his new Dreamwalker comic. So it's kind of exciting. Our world's kind of combining. The show is also sponsored by our friends at Rocket Comics. Tell them the Lord sent you. Get 10% off your pressing services, or 20% off your pressing services for the first time. And any additional time after that, you get 10% off. And for the 7,000 subs giveaway, our friends at Rocket Comics are nice enough to donate these 2 books. That's Spider-Man Quadruple Sign 9.8 and Giant Size Annual number 4. I think it's the first appearance of Multiple Man or whatever.
Yeah,
one of those guys. The show is also sponsored by our friends over at the GeekySwagShop.com. Go to Geeky Swag Shop. Use the discount code of LOTLB. You get 10% or 15% off any one of these items. Lord's Long Box, hoodies, gaiters. You can even wear a bandana. Look at that. How cool is that? And speaking of which, they are going to be giving away something as part of the 7,000 subs giveaway. This will be part of the grand prize winner. You'll get a 1-foot statue of Grogu sitting in a chair. Who doesn't want? It's a foot tall. Who doesn't want a statue of Grogu at their desk or wherever, or just to freak out?
A foot tall? Dude, that's big.
Yeah, definitely.
Big. Yeah. Also, our friends at Comics, Tunes, and Toys in Tustin, California, the sponsor of this show, is throwing all these bad boys up. If you missed out on your Department of Truths, we're going to have a bunch of them. So we're going to give away, probably a grand prize winner will win, 2 or 3 slabs as well as a statue. Also, CovrPrice is doing gonna give away 2 6-month memberships, and I forgot to mention, Karras is also going to be giving away a mystery box to one of the winners too. So holy cow, the grand prize winner could literally grab $1,000 worth, more than $1,000 worth. So that statue alone retails for $170. I looked it up today, but. Yeah, so if you haven't, go peep out the video from Saturday to enter the video, and we're probably going to announce a winner sooner than later, as soon as we can get all the lords together, hopefully this weekend, sometime along those lines, so we can announce the winners. We like to give away people to winners that entered in the video, as well as people in the live chat, though, because there's you, and you guys know who you are. You're professional contest enterers, because I only see them comment whenever there's a video entry contest. So, anywho, we'll go from there, man. But once again, this is the CovrPrice Shakers of the Week. This comes from our friends at CovrPrice, focusing on new sales or the most interesting sales found at their exclusives daily Shakers list. This list changes several times a day, so make sure you check it out every day to review some of the hottest trending books. And I have been doing this for a while, I don't know, about a year now. This, by far, has the weirdest and most obscure books that I have seen. You wouldn't even think they were comic books, to be honest with you. Like, one of them just looks like
one of them's not a comic.
Yeah, we'll talk about
that.
One of
them looks like one of them looks like something you would get on your browser, and when you just land on the homepage. And if that's a good hint, you might get to it. But let's get right to the first one, boys and girls. What do we got for the first shaker of the week?
Come on, TiVo. Before we get started, let's ask the crowd to take a moment and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, think about doing it. We have just hit one milestone. We're on our way to the next. And also hit the thumbs up, man. You know you're having a good time. We're interacting, having a great time. Hit that thumbs up. All right, first one up on the list, we've got Amazing Spider-Man, issue 546, the Steve McNiven Book Market. What does that mean? Originally published in 2008. Now, in the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, there was a blink and you miss it shot of a delivery truck with Feast on the side. This led many to the obvious conclusion that if Feast exists in the MCU, then so does Martin Lee, aka Mr. Negative. While Mr. Negative had a cameo appearance in the 2007 Amazing Spider-Man Free Comic Book Day Swing Shift issue, his full appearance as both Martin Lee and Mr. Negative are in this issue. More indirectly, it also features the first appearance of Feast. This helped move this issue, bringing out a rare book market variant, which sold for a new high raw sale of $451. It's unknown where these book market variants were sold, but many sources point to these being a limited giveaway at the larger comic conventions. Not for resale on it, bro. It says so right there on the bottom.
Yeah, not for
Yeah, never seen
resale,
this
but
one.
apparently it's sold for $451. So, I mean, if anybody knows the origins of this book, where it came from, it's kind of like those weird giveaways, like when you go see the opening of a movie. I have
Yeah.
remember when Venom came out? I have that Venom book that they
Oh,
were
yeah.
giving away.
I got that too.
Because when I was thinking about it, I was like, these are worth nothing. And now I'm thinking about it, man, these books maybe worth something the way the market goes nowadays. You know what I mean? Just people getting kind of weird one-offs. But there you go, man. Amazing Spider-Man number 546, Steve McNiven book market variant. Because we're don't know where they were marketing these from. So we'll just say book market. So there you go, man. So, yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 546. Next up is a gorgeous cover, one of my favorite covers.
Yeah, this one's nice. So you got Future Fight First, White Fox #1, the In-Huck Lee Virgin variant. I think these were like 1 in 100, if I'm not mistaken. So first appearing in Contest of Champions #1 back in 2015, the White Fox, Amy Hunt, is a mystical Korean shape-shifting 9-tailed fox and has gained popularity on recent Asian-based Marvel teams like Agents of Alaska. Based on some recent sales, $650 for a CGC 9.8. She's one of the more recent Marvel characters that is one to watch for.
And if you watched Shang-Chi and paid attention, there was a couple of 9-tailed foxes that were in the village of Talo. Because
I thought you said we weren't doing any spoilers until next week.
No, they actually showed in the trailer.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, they showed in the trailer. Hold on,
yeah, where were you?
All right, sorry about that. I didn't break the trailer down frame by frame, man.
All right. So, Future First, White Fox, issue #1, the In-Huck Lee Virgin variant from 2019. Wow, it's amazing how old variants come back on the list. All right, get ready if you have 2 for 2. Get ready for your first offer. I am definitely confident that nobody has this.
There's no way. Maybe somebody in the Bay Area, but no way. All right, next up on the list, we've got Google Chrome, originally published by Google in January of 2008. So any comic book can be a collectible. Case in point, this Google Chrome comic written by Scott McCloud to explain the inner workings of their new open source browser, Google Chrome. Per his site, the comics were designed as a printed comic for journalists and bloggers. He notes, I helped conduct interviews with about 20 engineers who worked on this project, then adapted what they said into comics form. Some paraphrasing, lots of condensing? Oh, maybe that's a typo. Lots of condensing, and 1 or 2 late drop-ins, but basically it was a very organic adaptation, and I had a lot of latitude. Since this comic landed into the hands of non-comic collectors, this is significantly tough to find. This week, a rare sale sold for $220 for a 9.8. The highest sale for this book was back in April of 2020 for $400. Now, granted, this isn't that crazy a price, but it is notable for a free book about Google Chrome, man. Come on.
That's
ridiculous.
I mean, if you were to show a picture of me, I'd like, oh yeah, why are you sending me a picture of your browser for? I mean, but to think there was a comic on it, I mean, it just kind of boggles the mind that, the nerds at Google are probably thinking there's probably tons of comic book collectors. Come on now. I mean, Well,
they were probably thinking on their staff, half the developers who are going to want to know about this are reading comic books. I know,
right? And there's got to be one guy, engineer, who's like big into comics. Like, you know what? Let's make a comic book. We're worth about $10 billion. Let's just make a comic book. Why not? And it could be about, what do you make? I don't know. We'll just make it about Google Chrome, the web experience or whatever. But so if you happen upon, I don't even know where you would find this. I mean, unless you were at
a
Google
garage
headquarters.
sale in Silicon Valley from some past
it's gotta be
who was sitting in their orientation and got handed this and a stack of other crap with their first day.
If you have this on your 2021 bingo card, you won straight up. Tag me on Instagram if you have a copy of this, and I will send you. I'll send you $100 if you have this. But you need to show proof of life if you have this. Anyway, Google Chrome by Google from January 2008. Can you just imagine just the price of Google stock in 2008 to what it is now? It's like, if anything, this book is undervalued at 220. Shit, if it went with the price of the stock, it should be about what, 10 million, somewhere around there. I don't know. I'm bad with math. Another rare book on this list because of a certain movie announcement, but this one is a rare one.
Yeah, I've never seen this one. So this is Harbinger #1, the DMG Chinese edition variant back in 2015 from Valiant. So back in 2015, Valiant formed a partnership with the Chinese firm DMG Entertainment to license and develop their large library of titles. They eventually purchased Valiant in 2018. This led to Bloodshot and Harbinger landing at Sony Pictures. To celebrate the partnership, Valiant and DMG produced this issue along with Bloodshot in Mandarin to distribute to the Chinese press. They are exceptionally hard to find here in the States. With a recent surge in Valiant sales, this rare book hit a new high sale of $1,200 for a CGC 9.8. I wonder if the interiors are also in Chinese.
It's got to be.
Well, yeah,
it was marketed. Obviously.
Yeah, it's in Mandarin language, but I wonder if the story is, it's probably the same story. It's just, translated into Mandarin. But what's interesting is after last week's show, when I think Harbinger 1 was on our top 10 list, right?
Yeah.
Somebody sent me a screenshot, and there was a report that really nobody paid attention to on Deadline that they were moving on with a movie deal finally for the Valiant books. So. Valiant people are diehard collectors.
They are, dude.
My man Elvine,
they're crazy.
My man Elvine from Christian from Elvine's Comics had a Valiant podcast like 10 years ago, and they used to talk about Valiant books all the time. And I just talked to him recently. I may have him on the show to talk about Valiant, because if there's anybody who knows anything about Valiant, it's Christian at Elvine's Comics, man. Because like I said, they are very hardcore fan base, even though Valiant has kind of been through a bunch of different hands. I mean, I think Dinesh sold them off. The same Dinesh who started Bad Idea Comics was the CEO of Dinesh, and then he either quit or got fired right before Bloodshot production happened. So interesting, very interesting. All right, so Harbinger #1, the DMG Chinese edition from Valiant from 2012. Man, Matt was pissed off you guys got so many on the CovrPrice top 10. He goes, you know what? I'm trying to get some offers on this list. All right, next up is the Holy Grail of Spawn Comics, in my opinion, because this book's been on my radar and I should have pulled the trigger long ago. But what is it?
Well, this is what I love about this show. We're going to drop some knowledge because I did not know this interesting fact I'm about to lay on you. Next up on the list, we've got Spawn #1, the Black and White from January of 1992. And it's not well known, but this black and white variant was produced over 5 years after its release in 1992. It was actually a 1 in 50 incentive for Spawn #65. But by 1997, Spawn wasn't even close to the massive print run it had early on. This instantly made this 1 in 50 variant one tough book to find. This week, it hit a new raw high sale of $950. That book's dope. Look at that.
Interesting cover. Definitely for Spawn 1.
Right? 5 years after.
Yeah. I've known about this book for a while, because when I was looking at Spawn books and I would say about 5 years ago, and just started popping up on my radar. I said, wait, what's Spawn #1, black and white? What is this? And then I started looking at it. I was like, wow. And I could have got a 9.8 for I think it was $1,500. If you look at a raw copy for $950, that $1,500 for a 9.8 doesn't sound too bad. Doesn't sound too bad at all. So where's James, Mr. Spawn himself? Where is he? Does he have this one? Because in my opinion, this is the holy grail of Spawn comics, right? Because Spawn #1 is a super high print run, right? But this black and white, this is the one to get. All right. So for all those with the offer, here's your chance to get on the board.
You're on the board.
Here's your chance. This is your chance to get maybe one or two if you already had the other one. What is it?
Man, if you're a Spidey fan, you should probably have this one in your collection. So the Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man #98 from Marvel Comics 1985. While issue 97 features the first appearance of Dr. Owen, an employed scientist of Wilson Fisk hired to study and experiment on Cloak and Dagger's dimensional abilities. Later in this issue, in issue 98, we received the first appearance of Dr. Owen as the Spot. He's been previously leaked that he may be showing up in the next Into the Spider-Verse film. However, it is unknown how large of a role he will be playing. He's been easily one of the most underused villains, mostly due to the campy nature he took over past the years. However, his portal ability could end up being the perfect fit in the film if the leak is accurate. Meanwhile, the first appearance has had its biggest sale to date with the CGC 9.8 for $500. Man, if Polka Dot Man could be on screen, you could put the spot
Right.
on
Why
him.
not? Right? Yeah. But I
this
mean,
guy's abilities are cool.
but it would lend itself well to the animated movie, just how good. And plus, Wong kind of used the Spot's powers already, kind of. If you've seen Shang-Chi.
Oh yeah. Wong does the same type of thing, right?
Or if you think about the What If,
Doctor Strange did when he pulled the book
What
out
If
of
with the zombies as well, right? With the kind of
we've seen
teleportation.
This before.
So maybe it's kind of like it's a little bit too close to that. So, but in the Into the Spider-Verse, and some of the some of the comic book things are super kind of campy or even kind of way out there, but animated form, why not? Or if you're James Gunn, why not put Polka Dot Man and a weasel on screen? Man, that weasel is the stuff of nightmares, man. I swear to God it is. Every time I see a picture of the weasel or Weasel Man or whatever his name is, man, I think it gives me, I freak out. It's a chupacabra. That's what it is, man. That ain't.
I remember. So you're saying like animated stuff. The Spot actually showed up in Spider-Man the animated series back in the 90s.
Yeah,
and it was an interesting. Yeah, it was an interesting like storyline. So the fact that they, like you said, animated, they can definitely do it for Into the Spider-Verse.
And there's also rumors, and I have to ask my friend Mikey Son about this, that they're going to be doing another Spider-Man animated series, right? Because so those are some of the best stories outside of DC's. When DC's universe started with the Batman and all those things, Spider-Man had really good. I mean, it was pretty serious too. They had a Morbius on there, they had Blade on there, they had I mean, it was a pretty good series. Not the MTV one. I hated that kind of CGI one, but the one prior to that one. Do you remember? I think it was on Fox.
It was just the regular. Yeah, you're right, Fox.
Yeah, but I mean, it didn't talk down to you as a kid. Like it was somewhat adult in the storytelling. A lot of the Peter's Spider-Man stories that you read in the comics were there in animated. It's a shame
it was the closest to Batman animated you could get.
Exactly. It's a shame we don't have that level of animated storytelling on just regular TV, right? I mean, you could only get it on streaming, but when we were growing up, even I can remember Thundar the Barbarian. It wasn't campy or jokey at all. Ookla, Ariel, Ride. Still love me some Thundar, right? Still love me some Thundar. Give me Thundar the Barbarian live action, and I'll be a happy man. So, the Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man issue number 98 from 1985, 500 bones for a cool 9.8. By the way, Amazing Fantasy 15 sold for $3.6 million. It was too obvious to put on the Shakers list.
No,
That's why Matt likes to pull out more obscure books. Because come on now, I mean, we can afford a $500 book, but I don't know two people who can afford that $3.6 million. Well, I don't know anybody actually, but kudos to you. Amazing Fantasy 15 and a 9.6 sold for $3.6 million. Man, the market is going crazy. All right, next up is another rare book that I don't think I've ever seen.
This is craziness. All right, you guys ready for this one? Number 7 on the list, we've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Storm Drain Savers. One shot, originally published in 1990 from Mirage. Now, CovrPrice highlighted this rare comic book back in August of 2020 when it sold a CGC 9.6 copy for $330. However, this week we saw 2 high new sales that obliterated that sale. Now, let me give you a little background. Now, before Free Comic Book Day, free comics weren't as common as they are today. Most free books ended up in the hands of kids who obviously didn't think to save these for profit.
Nope.
This book is 4.5 inches by 5.5 inches. It's a mini comic and was produced by Mirage Studios and donated to the Santa Monica Bay Restoration Project for their Earth Day 1990 public outreach program on storm drains and water pollution. Now, originally printed in black and white and given away only in Los Angeles, There was also a 1991 color reprint, which can be even harder to find. With all that said, this week's new high sales of $600 raw and $2,299 for a CGC 9.6 shows just what a free comic book can do.
Man, I'm gonna tell you what, Matt DeVoe, shout out to you, bro. You went deep.
Right.
You went digging deep in them long boxes with this one. I mean, even to just know the actual origins of where it came from, it was donated to a Santa Monica Earth Day like type thing, right?
Right.
I mean,
Earth Day, 1990 public outreach.
So to even think then, besides kids, just regular people handing them out comics. So I mean, you know what? I'm really starting to think my Venom comic may be worth something that they handed out during the movies, man.
Like, right? You need to go get that thing slapped.
I think they gave away a Bloodshot comic too on the release of that one. So who knows? Maybe that's the next thing. The comics that you get from the theaters whenever
well, with it being black and white, how many of these do you think just ended up in the trash? With it,
right? Because how do you
people
get them?
Grab this, toss it up. Just toss.
Yeah, what do you? As they walk through the doors, you're like, roll it up, put it in your back pocket. So it's pretty amazing that I could hit a 9.6 because knowing, first of all, it was 1990. I'm trying to think how popular were Turtles in 1990. Oh, I guess it was somewhat
just
popular,
around,
right?
Yeah, that was just around when they were coming out. But I got to know, what the hell are the Ninja Turtles doing in the Santa Monica Bay Area? They're from New York, man. Come on.
They're trying to save the storm drains.
Storm drains and how to handle water pollution.
So for those who grew up in Southern California, for the longest time, Santa Monica is a nice place to visit, but don't go on the beach because you'll walk out with like a syringe stuck in you. Right? So back in the 90s, it was not a beach you go swim in. But they've done a lot of conservation through there because obviously all the Los Angeles River drains out into the ocean, so they did a lot to clean that up. But the running joke back then is in Santa Monica is stay in the sand, don't go in the water. If you come in the water, you're gonna come out and your body's gonna be green or something along those lines. But there you go, TMNT Storm Drain Savers, one shot from 1990. Crazy. Ooh, Matt and you thought you were going to see Amazing Fantasy 15 on here just because it sold 3.6 million. Maybe it is. I don't know. What's next?
By the way, I agree with Anthony Reynolds. I hope my Pizza Hut X-Men is going to blow up next.
Oh, damn, I remember
that. You know that you got one. Me back. You got one.
I mean, at this point, anything that's like a freebie or anything, especially if it's high grade, because most people, nowadays people encase everything and protect everything, but I remember going to Universal. Actually, me and Darkside Jedi went to a Warner Brothers studio tour, and we bought, and they were handing out that Wonder Woman variant that you could only get from Warner Brothers studio, and every copy was trashed, every one of them. Same with Disneyland. Disneyland has these park exclusive variants. And Disney people are notorious flippers as well. They'll actually take something that's an exclusive that's released that day, take a picture of it, and list it on eBay while they're still at the park. So Disneyland actually got smart and they started bagging and boarding them. They started getting bags and boards for them, believe it or not. So I guess make enough noise and people will pay attention. So TMNT Storm Drain Savers. Sorry, I keep on thinking drivers for some reason. All right, what do we got next?
Oh, well, I think the weirdness just keeps on going. So we got Walt Disney, The Black Hole #4 from 1980. So this issue is one of the most notable books of the infamous Whitman pre-packs. In 1979, Mattel purchased Western Comics, marking it at the end for Western's long Gold Key publishing run. This merger essentially eliminated their newsstand program and focused specifically on those bagged comics. This created a whole mess of problems and market confusion as issues were severely delayed or even never released. Though for this entry, they also produced some super low print runs. If you search for Whitman's pre-packs, this book is one of the key books mentioned in terms of being one of the rarest, as this could be only found in a sealed 2-issue pack. Due to this scarcity, when a copy comes up for sale, it typically goes for highs. And this week, it sold for a new high in a CGC 6.0 for $895. Damn.
That's crazy.
What is this? I've probably seen this book
I'm trying to think if this was actually because there was a Disney actually made a movie that was released in 1979 called The Black Hole. You guys remember that movie?
Oh yeah,
I remember
man.
seeing that movie in
Absolutely.
the theaters. It was Disney's way of everybody was trying to get into the whole
The Star Wars thing.
Star Wars thing, right? It wasn't awful. It was a black hole. Actually, it was because there's that damn robot. I remember that silly robot. Remember,
It was kind of
right
awful though, man, wasn't it?
No, I mean it actually is not bad at all. But I mean, it's called The Black Hole. And this comic is Beyond the Black Hole, and this came out a year after or so after it was released in the theater. So maybe this is because I do remember they even had little silly robots that because if you think about the droids that are in Star Wars, the Black Hole movie also had these kind of silly droids, and there was like. I'm trying to think of his name. Maximilian was the bad robot or something
Maximilian
like that.
was the
Is that
bad
his
guy.
name? Man, I'm trying to remember, man. But man, hey kids, we're young. The pickings were slim. We had we had the
Showing
black
our
hole.
age now, man.
Yeah. Nowadays you're spoiled with all your stuff. Was there you see Planet in Arizona says black hole is damn good. They all die and either go to heaven or hell. Spoiler alert. So if you haven't
Spoiler
seen
alert, they go beyond the black hole to an
Yeah.
alternate universe.
That's right. So Walt Disney's The Black Hole issue number 4. Man, talk about Matt was really digging. Let's see if you guys get on the board on this one. Nope.
Oh, man, come on. Come on. When I saw this, I'm like, this is ridiculous. All right, next up, number 9 on the list, folks. Wishes and Rainbows. No issue number. Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. 1981. Okay, here we go. Like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Storm Drain books, free books were rare. This promotional comic was published by the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. This was provided by the bank to school children as an economics teaching tool focusing on broad concepts including scarcity, supply, demand, and allocation. And it was all done through good old-fashioned comic book storytelling and a 6-page teacher's guide. Well, this week, a rare copy came to market and sold a CGC 9.8 for $5,000. Someone needs to get paid on that one too.
Right.
Well, we can't wait for it to be optioned one day, right? Come on.
So apparently, I mean, when this came out in 1981, right? The kid who wrote this or read this, because it was a teaching tool in economics focusing on broad concepts, including scarcity, supply, demand, and allocation. Well, we took what they've learned reading this book in 1981, and now it's sold it for $5,000. That is the definition of what they learned in that economics class, right? If you think about it, and who was teaching economics to kids of this age? And I'm trying to think. I was like, because this looks like it's made for grade school, not typically economics is something you take in high school, but. Kudos to the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston for making a comic book, but telling you, Matt was like, "Yo, man, you guys, we're really pulling out the rarities on this one."
Yeah,
but,
we are. Villains issue says, "I feel like I'm being punked." Where's Ashton at?
It's real, man. It's real. I know. Welcome to the show, Ashton Kutcher. Yeah.
Oh my
so, Wishes and Rainbows with what looks to be Dora the Explorer in black and white to me. But there you go, man. The Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. All right. Actually, the last book on the list is probably another good chance for you to get on the board, I think.
Yeah, definitely 2 of 10, the most anyone's going to get on this one. So Why the Last Man, number 1 from 2002 DC Comics under the Vertigo label. So this book has gone through an incredible journey over the past 20 years. It was hot immediately upon its release back in 2002, of course, because of Brian K. Vaughan. And then it went on to have the worst case of content create development of hell. Why was one of those books that was a no-brainer content translation, though it just couldn't find its way onto a screen. It was crazy to finally see a trailer this year and even being so close to actually seeing that this show is going to happen. And we're pretty excited about it. The market is definitely starting to feel it as prices are really starting to pick up. And we have a CGC 9.8 sale that just hit a new high for $1,795. Can this book continue the trend of getting even hotter post-release? I'd say so.
What do you think?
I think so? I think this is undervalued, to be honest with you. Wow. 9.8. Mm-hmm. I mean, for those who saw the trailer, I mean, there's a lot of people.
What if it sucks?
Yeah. It looks pretty. It looks pretty well. I mean, for the longest time, I think it was going to be on FX, but then FX, was going through all the things with Disney buying it and everything. Basically, why is the last man on Earth, and there's only there's other women around him, and so obviously when people saw the trailer, a certain segment of collectors society poo-pooed on it. But what's interesting about why the last man is interesting is because he's the last man. Males are the ones that have the Y chromosome, and his name starts with a Y. So if you ever think about that, right? So women have I believe the X and Y chromosome, and men have the X and Y chromosome, and I think women have just the X chromosome. So, but also his name is Y. And fun fact, the name of his monkey is Ampersand.
I thought his name was like Ezekiel or something.
No, the name of the monkey is Ampersand, which is very geeky in itself, right? Who's going to name their monkey Ampersand? But hey, man, don't go anyway. We're going to go and see what's shaking today, boys and girls, because we always like to see what's shaking the market today. We get a good chance to see. We'll try to highlight some interesting ones that probably won't get talked about again next week, hopefully. So here is the CovrPrice.com website. Here's your weekly top 10. Here's the weekly movers. Hey, Firepower. Wow, that's interesting.
Look at that.
I wonder why. I've been buying this book up because I believe anything Robert Kirkman does has a good chance to being developed. So, but look at but we're not talking about movers, but it's pretty interesting if you think about why Firepower sold 24 copies this week. But anyway, it's a great story, and it's a martial arts story. So right now, that's the vogue thing, right? Martial arts and comics. So let's look at the daily shakers. I can already tell you I don't have any of those in the top row.
Look at that Hawkman 4.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Good
Hawkman issue number 4, first appearance Zatanna. Oh, doggy. 20 G's for a 9.6.
Wow. This is yesterday. Good Lord.
My God.
Nobody's buying it for Hawkman, that's for sure. I just want to see
the worst cover first appearance.
Exactly. Well, yeah, unfortunately, a lot of first appearances where they don't appear on the actual cover itself. Yeah. That's why Wolverine 181 over 180, in my opinion. Hey, look at this, just for you, Justin. This is the Chip Zdarsky Jackson black and white variant. Look at Jackson the bunny, right?
So now we know how Jackson
$3,500 for a raw comic.
This was like a 1 in. I think the ratio was 1 in 4,999.
Get out of here!
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm serious. Because they tried what they did with Marvel did is they, what was it? Batman: The Dark Knight Returns 3, the Master Race. They came out with like 1 in like
basically 1 per store.
It's so basically they had to have some. They did some high crazy ratio variant for this, so that's why it commands that much.
Telling you, if we ever see Jackson, for a fun fact, is the first Marvel created character for Star Wars, right? If you think about it, prior to that, all the characters that Marvel had done were from the movies. And then, what was it, issue 8 or 11, where you finally see Jackson on the screen? Oh my God. If we ever see Jackson just pop up on like the Mandalorian Book of Boba Fett, I will lose my shit. I would just go crazy.
He's going to be in the bar somewhere, in the corner drinking.
Yeah. Hey, look at this little Red Sonja getting some love. This is the first. We were just talking about this, how first appearance, but it's not the first cover appearance.
That's and the how, next book?
Yeah, 24? The next book. Yeah. I mean, that's why this one looks much better, right? You got Red Sonja right in the cover, but technically, the other one is the first appearance. First appearance of Red Sonja, 9.6 for $2,000. Wow, look at that. Oof. Captain Britain. Young Avengers is always on this list. Hey, now I looking at some weird stuff. Primer issue number 2, the first appearance of Grendel, aka Hunter Rose. 9.0 sold for almost $1,200, man. Grendel. Who remembers this? What year did this come out? 1982.
82.
Man, this is even before independent comics were really the boom, right? The boom. That's pretty cool. Here's that damn Nintendo book again.
Oh, God, I had all these in there in the garbage now.
I just scooped them up, threw them all away.
Oh my God.
7.5 for $1,200.
Well, back in June, you got it 8.5 for $2,500.
Fuck.
Good Lord.
Say that again. Nobody was holding on to these. That's why.
It's some great covers, though. Nice photorealistic covers.
This literally just came out.
Just came out, right?
But 1 in 250. Todd McFarlane. That is a pretty dope cover, though. I dig it. There was a ton of covers for these when you got I mean, it's one of those things where you go there, you're like, damn, do I get them all, or which one do I think is going to be hot? But either way, $850 for a raw copy. Here's all the covers if you look at them. I'm not even going to talk about this one because then I'd have to invoke a certain graphic. But
no
the
graphics.
cover artist. But I like this one too. This one is pretty dope.
Oh, that is pretty nice.
Yeah, Puppeteer Lee. Is that a name? What the hell? Is that a real name?
Yeah.
Let me see. This one's pretty cool too.
Capullo stuff.
Yeah, Greg Capullo. Yeah, King Spawn. Spawn is it's like Ryan says, it's like herpes. It just pops up every few months. You know.
Man.
Hey man, we've always talked about this. Too bad Jack isn't on here. We talk about these kind of animated kind of series that are picked up that are, you know, Gargoyle #1 newsstand edition, $630 for a 9.8. That was one of the more adult afternoon cartoons, right? The stories were very, very good, and you know what? The animation was really good. It stands the test of time. To be honest with you, Eminem fans know this book. This is Salvador La Roca. Not for sale. Promo, $700 and 9.0. If you want to see all-time sale, highest known value is only a 9.4 for $16.90. But here's the other weird XXL cover. This is the comic printed inside of it. Not nearly as much as that one because the Deadpool one is much cooler. Interesting, cool to see Deadpool on here. Vengeance, Usagi Yojimbo. Always something killing the children. What?
Tivo, you guys want to hear a terrible, horrible story? Go ahead and check out that New Mutants that just sold. See how they're highlighting a 9.0 New Mutants 98 that sold.
Which one? The
down one row, right there. New Mutants 98. First appearance of Deadpool. 9.0 for $549. Go ahead and let's take a closer look at that. Can you slide down to the 9.0s and see if there was any other 9.0s that also sold yesterday? Because there was actually 2 9.0s that sold yesterday. Guess who actually owned the second one?
You got it for $335?
I sold it for $335. It was in a 7-day auction, and that's all it went for. I literally came out. I put my arms in the air, spread them, and told my wife to kick me in the nuts. I said, please, just do it right now. I can't take it. It's over.
Did you do a 99 starting at a 99-cent sale or something?
No. It was a 7-day auction, started at $305, and it got up to a whopping $335. And on the same day, another one sold for $540.
Yeah, but look at even July. The ones for $400, $489. I meant, what day did the auction end?
Yes, yesterday. This is yesterday's stuff, man. This is 9 a.m. in the morning. It ended at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
But on Tuesdays, what was yesterday? Wednesday?
Yeah.
Wednesday. Sundays are typically the best days. I mean, that's when most auctions end.
Neighbors. I love you, bro.
And it's always about timing, too, man. It's always about timing, too, man.
Timing is everything. Yeah, clearly, that should have been an auction that ended on a Friday night around 9 p.m. East Coast time.
Here you go, Justin. I know you're big on Naomi. This is the San Diego Comic-Con 2019 giveaway.
That was just free. They just gave that away for free. So no bag, no board. So
trying to get 9A for $425.
But
if you get away at a convention, you know, somebody will probably have bags of boards already sitting inside their backpack already. This is one of my favorite Spawn covers of all time. This one right here, that is so dope. That's Capullo and first appearance of Archangel, which rarely ever seen him come back. It was like they appeared in these early issues and then you never saw him. But this is one of the more the dopest covers of Spawn. Spawn number 77, first appearance of Archangel, a 9.8 sold for $400. And anything Spawn, man, it's super hot right now. Hey, here's our friend Radioactive Man. This is always a fun one from Bongo Comics. $375 for a 9.8. That is pretty fun. Silver Surfer Mephisto still getting in there. There you go. Let's see where this is at now. This book has cooled down a little bit. So
definitely now's the time.
Yeah, first appearance of Dr. Aphra, $420 for a 9.8. I'm gonna see what other 9.8.
So you're saying I should buy some more?
Yeah, I mean that it had a high. It's off its
Yeah.
high of 600, so it's coming down.
Yeah, so it looks like it came down a little bit.
Trending down.
So I mean, at one point they were 500, 599. Right around. So I guess that's right around the market price. But you know, if she ever appears on live action, it's gonna go through the roof. Easily go through the roof. Wow, something's killing the children. Here we go. Noctera is getting a lot of play lately. This is the Tony Daniel secret variant. I don't know what makes it a secret. To see what it compares.
If you look
I
at
think
the
it
cover,
glows
it's
in the
her
dark.
face. No, it's
right?
her face. It's got the ring.
Oh, it looks like her face is obscured. Yeah, let me
Yeah.
look at the regular. That's a good thing about CovrPrice. That they,
You can see them all. Okay, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, see, I can see. Yeah. Tony S. Daniel, and we all know Noctera is coming, so you can see all the different variants. Look at this all black variant. That looks crazy. $80 for the all black variant. Wow, let's look at that. Because I've yet to see this one. The black outfit 1 in 200. No wonder I haven't seen
luck.
it. Yeah. But yeah, 9.8. Yeah, you think these black covers are usually getting 9.8 in? Go grade some black covers, and we shall see. Speaking of which, I've always been talking about this one. Everybody talks about Devil Dinosaur. This is one of the few hip hop variants that are actually holding value. Remember, there was a whole big sell off on hip hop variants. This is the Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur hip hop variant, sold for $479 and 9.8 on September 8th. I thought I saw another one on here. Oh no, this is just the regular one. Moon Knight is another one to look out for in the hip hop variants, and they are a tough nut to crack in a 9.8 because all of them pretty much all black covers. We'll look at this one because we know Usagi Yojimbo is coming. This is Usagi Yojimbo summer special from Fantagraphics 1986. $600 for 9.8. Well, how cool is that wraparound cover?
Oh, that's dope.
It is nice.
Yeah. So they released some footage from it very briefly, but I don't think they've done a full trailer yet. So I will stop sharing my screen so we can talk to you folks. But today was a huge day. We didn't even talk about the Matrix trailer. We didn't talk about the video game trailers. I mean, Marvel dropped Spider-Man 2, Wolverine, and there was another. What was the other game trailer that was dropped?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy, another game trailer. So man, it was before Marvel games were awful, and now it's like they're going full in on that. And the Matrix 4 trailer dropped, and I was like, maybe I'm just not a giant Matrix fan like everybody.
I was a huge Matrix nuthead.
What did you think of the trailer?
I thought it was fantastic because when you hear that they're going to do another Matrix, you're thinking, well, wait a minute, man, he's old. How are they going to do? He's old. I mean, part of the whole thing was that you're plugged in, so that's why you had this appearance of why you looked.
But
why would he look old?
At the end of the third film, they reset everything back to what it was, right? They basically
negotiated
coexisted.
Peace.
Yeah,
basically.
the architect and the other person.
He basically infiltrated a virus up in there and said, "I'll get rid of the virus, but we gotta have peace." And they said, "Okay."
There's a scene in the Matrix Part 2 where the architect goes on like a 5 to 10 minute diatribe, which I didn't understand at all. Telling him
this is the 6th iteration of the Matrix.
Basically saying this happens it's like you're like the 4th time this has happened. So that's what I'm expecting this happens, maybe. I don't know, man. But when the Matrix came out, it was cutting edge in terms of fighting and the camera angles they're using and all the CGI. So we'll see if they can keep up with what everybody else has been doing. You know what I mean? John Wick, obviously Keanu Reeves been doing John Wick, but the martial arts that they did in the Matrix was top notch at the time because it was done by the great Yuen Woo Ping, who did Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. But we'll see if they can, because right now Shang-Chi sets the bar for as far as martial art films made in the U.S.
Going forward,
when is that going to be released? If you can't get to the theater,
45 days.
It's 45 days and then it'll be $30, or is that what it is?
No, 45 days and then it'll be released on Disney Plus. That's what that whole Chapek said about the experiment. He goes, "This is the first time. Normally they have a 90-day window that they release in theaters, and then whatever contracts that they have either go into what we used to cost. You could release the DVD." I don't know. So basically, you can go to Best Buy and buy a DVD. So that used to be a 90-day window. And then after that, there was another window where you could see it on cable. So they've shortened that time period now, so that this film was going to only have a 45-day release date in theaters. Then after that, it'll go on whatever platforms they're contracted to.
And how is that different than what they did with Black Widow, and why?
Well, that was a simultaneous release between on to the movies and Disney. I think Disney Premier Access, right?
Where Disney charged $30 for that.
Yeah,
because I heard this rumor that the Russos are like, you know what? Until that whole lawsuit gets figured out, until you guys figure out how you're going to be releasing stuff and compensating us, that they weren't going to make any more movies. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, I read about that.
True.
You read about that?
I think they all know very damn well that, when they sign these contracts, but now they're just seeing how big Disney Plus has gotten, and they just want more money. It's all part of negotiating. You know what I mean? Because they're like, wow, you're the second largest streamer now, so we want, but it's like people on Netflix, they know what they're getting into. Like Patty Jenkins is now coming out and saying that she wished Wonder Woman 84 never came out, because Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot were given $10 million a piece so they could release it on HBO Max. And now Patty Jenkins said, I wish I would have never done that. Or she probably wishes that they would have redone. I think what it's going to make Hollywood do is get their people to look at the contracts more closely and what their cut is. Because right now you get a theatrical release, they kind of know how many points they get on the front end, on the back end, on a movie. The same with actors and everything. But with the pandemic, it kind of changed the way things have been released. So everybody has, I think, to be readjusted. Like the Scarlett Johansson thing will never, ever see a day in court. They're going to settle out of court, because if they do go to court, and I've said this before, then guess what? Everybody gets to see the contracts.
Open their books. They're like, hey, go ahead and open up their books. And be
nobody wants to see that on either side. Disney doesn't want to see that, and definitely Scarlett Johansson's team doesn't want that to happen, because the people are like, wait a second. You're telling me you got $30 million and you're still suing? You know what I mean?
Bitching about that?
Because the contracts will become public at that point if they bring it up in a court. So we shall see, man. But it's good to see people back in the theaters for Shang-Chi. But you only have to wait another.
Was that record breaking or just a really good strong post-COVID weekend?
I think it was a record breaking for Labor Day weekend release. Because typically Labor Day isn't a big day for. I mean,
were the theaters packed when you went and saw it?
Every single showing, yeah.
Same with me, yeah. My theater was packed here in Jersey, so.
Yeah, I mean, you can wear a mask and be in there, you know what I'm saying? So if you don't feel safe, just wear a mask, for the most part, we always buy like we'll buy like 2 seats with 1 seat in the middle free, because we know nobody's going to buy that 1 seat by itself. So this way we have some distance to ourselves. We're kind of selfish that way, because on the AMC app, you can kind of like pick the seats, and we're like, all right, where can we pick 2 seats that are, and then would somebody try to sit in between us? You know what I mean? Or if I, like, a lot of times, like, on a Saturday afternoon, my lady's doing something, I'll go see a movie by myself just to kill some time, and I'll be like, hey, I'm going to buy a ticket for you, okay? Because on the AMC app, you can add somebody. So, you can say, oh, this is a part of my, so you can get 2 seats. So I always guarantee at least I have an empty seat next to me.
Okay.
And I don't want to be selfish about it. But hey, they get the money. What do they care, right? So, but one time somebody sat next to me. I said, hey, that seat's paid for, man. Nobody's sitting there, but I paid for that. Okay. And then he goes, well, somebody took our seats. I go, well, talk to them. That ain't my problem, man. You need to go talk to them. Don't try to just take some empty seats.
That's crazy.
Anyway, JB, any last words?
No, man, I want to shout out the chat. This is really one of the best live chats on YouTube, right? We get here early. We tailgate. I was in the chat 30 minutes early, man. We were tailgating up a storm. Shout out to everybody that joined us for the show. If you stuck around to the end, awesome. Make sure you hit the thumbs up on your way out, and we'll see you next week. Tuesday and Thursday. Are you doing something this weekend, Steve? What you doing? You got Sunday? No Sunday?
Sunday, I'll be doing Letters from the Long Box with Mikey Sutton. And then hopefully either Friday or Saturday, we need to figure out when we're going to do our giveaway video. But yeah, I'll be on Sunday for sure. Every Sunday now. It's going to be, you're going to see my ugly mug 3 times a week. So there you go. Justin, any last words?
Yeah, since I'm here on a Thursday night, everybody can check out the new episode of the Comic-Con podcast on Friday morning over at iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor FM, like TiVo's got the shirt. So just drop the link in the chat. You could always click on that. It gives us to our Instagram page, and then that's where you can find everything else. So me and Zach just did the episode probably like a half hour ago, and Tim said, hey, you want to jump on? I said, absolutely. I'm available.
What's the subject tonight or tomorrow?
We're kind of talking. We're talking all the video game trailers based on the comic books that dropped today, and then we're also kind of went over the first 5 episodes of What If. So
Nice.
I can't believe it's the first time we actually got a Wolverine video game. The character has been so popular. We finally got a actual trailer. I mean, did you play Wolverine?
Did you see? And I know we didn't talk about this. Did you see the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer?
That was pretty good too.
See the World Mine and the Nova Corps.
Yeah,
that's some.
I mean, that was right out of the comics. That's like the Universal Church of whatever. That's straight out of
Church. Yeah,
that's straight out of the comics too. So that was pretty fun. And in the Spider-Man 2, they actually showed Venom. I was like, man, they went all out today, and it was because Marvel Entertainment was only showing a few of them, and then I think Sony's a different studio, and then the Guardians of the Galaxy one. So man, they're all stepping up.
Insomniac. That's the people that make it.
All right, boys and girls, thanks for hanging out with us. We know you can go back to watching football now, and hopefully the Cowboys lose. But on that note, keep digging in them long boxes, and I will see you Sunday on Letters of the Long Box if I don't see you before then. Peace out, guys.
Don't forget, we gotta...
Now let's do this. Rewind, select, and come again. Pull up that from the top to the very last.
Who are you to make their lives bitter in hard bondage? In this you shall know that the Lord is update. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, do it. We're here. We're back. Let's do a job. You can't get fresher than this.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 5 greatest heroes. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
When it comes, I won't even notice.
Oh, how so?
I'll be too busy looking good.
You can't